Hi, welcome to our video about the workshop that is coming about the human design environments. So we really wanted to walk you through what's going to happen in the workshop. If you're interested in coming and learning more about the human design environments. And the purpose of the environment actually is that you're moving your body in a frequency where you feel protected, where you're able to nourish your body, you're able to see clearly, and you're able to receive all the possibilities that want to come to you. It's mostly about frequency. So when we talk about the mountains and the valleys, it's also would be optimal for me to be on a mountain. That would be easy. But also taking myself in the frequency of being elevated does a very similar trick to my frequency. So it is a metaphorical place and it is a real physical place. So it is both. But what is important to know that we all have this environment that is extremely correct for us. And it is a place of, it means a place in the nature, but it's also a place in your mind. And it is about the people, especially who are around you. So as a mountain person, I'm always thinking, are these people that surround me, are they elevating me or are they pulling me and dragging me downwards into the thick of things and into politics? As I am very sensitive to the atmosphere. On a mountain, the air quality is very light. So that's shortly about the mountain.
Maybe, Tina, is it possible to just maybe add what are the environments?
Okay.
Like just maybe that may be some interesting for some.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So there's 6 different environments. And I can see this in my clients. First, we have the caves, which is a very primitive hardscape environment. The caves people, when they come to my coaching sessions, they want a dimmer lighting. They are looking for a very cozy, safe space where they can bond in a very soulmate level. Nothing happens behind their back, and it's a very, very cozy, safe space where they can feel heard. Then we have the markets people who are always looking for these exchanges. So they come for new ideas, sampling what's their taste, and they love to pop into my marketplace and learn new things and have this kind of exchanges of just very product kind of service exchanges. But it's a very hardscape as well. They are very curious what kind of tea selection I have and what really happens in the space. Are they able to get new ideas? Then we have the kitchens, which is also a hardscape. They are looking to finish their craft. They love bumping into people they know. It's a very energizing kind of energy for them. So we are always, I'm kind of their sous chef in the kitchen, helping them finish their craft. And they always have something cooking. It's a very, very creative environment. And then we come to the mountain, which is me, and I have quite a few mountain clients. And the mountains people are very particular. They are always looking for the next level. They are always going up the mountain, and also they are very sensitive to the atmosphere. They're always looking for, are my values the same as theirs? It's not a hardscape, but more of a wider landscape. Is this the kind of place where we share the same values? And then we come to valleys, which is your environment. And then the valleys people are very sensitive in their ears. They are looking for people who have the right tone of voice, and they want to connect in a very deep level. And I'm going to ask you in a few seconds more about your valleys. But then we have the shores people. And shores people, that's the most evolved environment in a way. They've seen it all, and they are looking to be transported into to the other side. So they are always, when they come as a client, they are looking for transformation. They are looking to be transported to a new world. Very curious people, and yeah. But let's talk about valleys.
Yeah.
So when people come to the workshop, they will learn their zone of genius, the environment where they can see clearly, they can nurture themselves, they can feel protected. And so, Nicola, would you love to tell me, when I talked about valleys to you and you read my workbook, how did you feel? What resonated, and what does your valleys lifestyle look like?
Yeah, it's really interesting because when I heard about these valleys, first of all, I grew up in a valley, and like in a real deep valley.
Lucky
you know, the kind of valley where there is like the street, the river, and the houses all around, and then there's mountain and mountain.
Yeah.
You know, like very deep valley.
Amazing.
And I was mentioning to you earlier what I found fascinating when I was young, and I was going up the mountain, which of course that's what you do. You go skiing, you go snowboarding. And I was really attracted by going up and then going down. Yeah, going all the way into the valley, because you can go up to the ski resort and then you're up on a mountain and then you ski up there. Or you can go up and like at the end of the day, everyone is going down, of course. But I would go during the day, often just going down all the way into the valley. And I wonder if that had something to do with that I wanted to go back into that comfort place.
Definitely.
If you could call it, back to the village.
Yeah, your body resonated because this environment is deep in our unconscious part in the body, and you're simply attracted to that. Your body wants to move towards that.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels good. You get this instant kind of feeling in your body that, this feels good. So of course, your skis would be directed to the valleys, and actually, many valleys people have a fear of heights because you want to be on the ground.
Yeah,
because
it's a big theme, the being grounded as well, just in general.
Exactly.
Being more grounded.
Because you're so much in the air, your ears are in the air, and finding these subtle frequencies and communicating and getting your sources of information, becoming a source yourself. Everything, this happens in the air.
Yeah.
So if your feet are not on the ground, it's not a comfortable place.
It's not a comfortable place. Yeah, it's fascinating. And I also, because I said to Tina, I find it so fascinating in the yoga studio, but places people choose.
Yeah.
Right? So they want to be by a wall, they want to be just in front of the teacher. And I said to her, when I'm a student at my own studio, or when I used to be a lot of student there, sorry, then I wanted to have the window on my side because of the light and something, and then the wall behind me. So
exactly,
that something?
The window, like connected to the air and having this wideness around you, not being locked in, but seeing, like when the markets. Is a very kind of closed market space in a way. The valleys is more like New York subway, kind of, you want to be widely connected. So being close to a window is definitely gives you this kind of sense of freedom and open space.
Nice, interesting.
Yeah, and the caves people would want to have something behind their back. Also the mountains, but in a different sense, because the mountains are looking for the widest view to see from the mountain the village. They get perspective when they are looking from afar.
Yeah.
So they put themselves in a corner to see everything, but the caves people put themselves behind, like next to the wall, to feel safe.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then the kitchens would probably put themselves in the center because they want to be in the hot spot. They want to be in the heart of the matter, the where the power is, where they feel, they can bump into people.
Yes, it makes so much sense, because my daughter is that kitchen and she's
Yeah.
very like outgoing, always
Yeah.
having to be in the center of everything.
Yeah.
Kim's like, where are you? In the city.
Yeah,
You don't want to be
exactly.
somewhere out in the outskirts. You want to be in the city.
Exactly.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I can imagine that being on your island, she's like, I'm not in the hot spot here.
I need to get to where something's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Great. So people who come to the workshop do not only learn their own zone of genius, but obviously can reflect how they differ from their family members. If you take birth times of your family members, you will also learn how they are different from you. So we are going to talk about the zone of genius, but we're also going to discover your zone of hiding. So we all have this experience of being in a survival mode, and then we're not actually, our body is not so attracted to our zone of genius, but actually to our zone of hiding.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Nicola, in your case, you move from the valleys to the markets, and you focus on one-on-one exchanges instead of being in your power and delivering information to wider groups.
Okay.
Do you remember a time in your life where you would have been in this kind of exchange energy, like being a waitress or something?
Well, yes. Sorry. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. That's what I have. That's what I used to do.
Exactly.
And just like the communication also with the people, being around a lot of people. And I didn't know that it was a hiding place.
Exactly.
But it was kind of like the place where I found myself to be, maybe because I just didn't know better.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And it is also like a complementary environment. You go there when you are in a survival mode, you're searching for yourself and you want to be in peace. You're not ready to show yourself still. So it is very natural to be there, and it is good for you, but it's not sustainable. It's not a long-term solution.
This is basically, you talk about the
Story of your life.
The story of my life. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was the same thing. So a couple of years ago, last fall in particular, as I got to know the environments more deeply, I realized that I was being in my hiding zone in very much. So this company I had before for 7 years, it was more of a cave. So mountains people hide themselves in a cave. So caves people, it's a very cozy place. I had my reflexology treatments. My soulmates would come into my cave. Like, I didn't have much strangers coming. They were all people that had been coming to me for 5-6 years. They were so my soulmates. I felt good. But when I was off from my survival mode, it wasn't enough anymore. I started to feel this kind of very much mountain-like suffocation. Because as a mountains person, when you have too many people around you all the time, it doesn't feel good. So then I did this huge life transformation, just basically based on the knowledge about the environments.
Just check. Yeah, I think everything's good.
Yeah. Great. We're back.
We're back, yes.
Yeah. So the idea of the environment, I started to see my physical symptoms were very much based on the being in the wrong environment.
Wow.
So I started to get this mountain kind of feelings. I was feeling suffocated and just having so much people so close to me all the time. Especially during the treatment, which, in a cave, you want to be close to your soulmates. But I can do that half of the week, but then half of the week I need to find my perspective. I need to see from afar. And it's actually very, I love to tell this story that me and my husband were both mountains people. And we had been dating for 3 years, and we were thinking, should we move in together or not? And then I got this idea to go to an exchange to Japan. And so I was on a mountain. I got so much clarity. And so he was in Helsinki, I was in Japan. So talk about perspective.
Definitely that.
I had been in Japan for 2 months, and he calls me 1st of May that I think we should move in together. As long as we were in a cave together, too close to each other, we couldn't see that this was meant to be. But when I removed my body on a mountain to the other side of the world, we both got perspective. We could see our relationship from a wider perspective. And this is what we still do. I can go on an escape, or he can leave. And whenever we meet again, we can just find that perspective.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. I think it's really important for people to know when you said that you had symptoms, and so you had to change something in your environment. And I think that's very interesting for people to know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people suffer from a lot of different things, and I think when they get that perspective, that can be an amazing help.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. And then so we, each one of us, we have the zone of genius, which you will find out at the workshop. And you will start to recognize your family members, how and their very deep needs are very different from yours. So respecting that is very important. Like my son is also valets. He needs this deep connection, being on the same wavelength. And so I take him to these weekend trips, and it's all about me being there for him, asking questions. Nice. Just he get to bubble everything out. I ask about Fortnite, I ask about Minecraft, I ask about his interests, and he just my main intention is to be on the same wavelength with him, and it just, the lightness that comes out of him is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
It just, even though when we come back home, we meet in a very different place, in this lightness, because he feels so heard.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is.
Yeah, that's the connection part which you talked about, which the valleys have, right?
Yes.
Because I felt that so much, when I heard that it's so much about connection. And I always thought because in yoga I talk a lot about connection, because you got to connect to yourself, to your body, to who you are. And I didn't realize that it's actually a big thing for me.
Yeah.
You know, I thought everyone needs to connect. Of course, everyone does in some level or another. But I feel now much more why I have that need to connect.
Yeah.
You know, that it's comforting me, that connection.
Exactly. And there's this certain frequency that you need a certain amount. You need to connect with your husband on maybe it's on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But when the amount is too much or too little, you will sense it. The frequency is very important.
Yes. And since everything is energy, right?
Yeah.
That's the frequency which you're talking about. I think it's super fascinating.
Exactly. And you can hear when there's people whose tone of voice you really love. And then there's people you just, you want to mute them, literally. And that's something you need to trust in your body.
Yeah.
Like one of your daughters is markets, and markets people are so sensitive.
Yes.
They have very particular tastes in things. And what I do with my markets clients, I just give them permission to trust their taste, because it's the most sensitive environment. They're meant to be sampling, and they're meant to be trust what their taste is. So, they are learned that they are like high maintenance and so difficult. But they start to thrive when they really start to trust their very deep taste, and then we get to enjoy their taste. It comes out, and they become fashion designers, and they become taste marketeers, and just this unique taste, it just enchants us basically.
Fascinating. I just thought it was a teenager's thing, but of course I see that both teenagers are different.
Yeah.
Since now I know one is kitchen, one is market, but I could see that one daughter goes to the other daughter for advice on clothing, and I was always surprised. I thought the small goes to the big, but the big goes to the small.
Yeah.
You know, so there's definitely that behind. I can totally see that.
So
It's
cool.
very important for her.
So
to
cool.
look good. Well, teenagers do that, but there is definitely that behind. And that
Yeah.
sensitivity as well.
Yeah.
Because it has to feel right. It's not just so that the clothes have to look good
Yeah.
or the hair has to look good, but it has to feel good.
Yes.
And that is something I always wanted to teach my children, that it's all about feeling. And so, when I hear this, that it's already imprinted in them, and then maybe we as parents, we can bring that out.
Yeah.
That it's not so much about what the others say or how I don't know, I compared myself a lot when I was young. But when you know that you live in an environment where you're supported on feeling how you are.
Yeah. But feeling is
thing.
very much your environment.
It's my environment.
So for markets people, it can actually be a kind of taste thing, that they can actually, it can taste good or it can taste sour, or sometimes it's very much in the mouth or jaw area. If the markets is in the wrong environment, they can get their jaw very locked, or it's well, the feeling is of course a wider concept, but feeling, sense, this kind of empath quality is about the valleys.
But that, I can see that. But the market as well have this empathy, no? Or is that more a valley thing?
It is a very much valley thing.
Okay.
But then we also have these two other senses that can be feeling, that can bring a mix to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about the senses a little bit. So under our environment, there's this navigation sense that you can also trust. So under your valleys, you have the sense of smell. So that means that I remember at one point you always had your nose blocked, and that would be your sign of being in the wrong environment.
Oh, wow.
So you can really trust your sense of smell, because if your nose is blocked, you can't navigate, you can't get the vibe of, am I in the right environment? And for sure is a sign for you that I know people, I know clients that would go to work and they would always get their nose blocked at work. Of course, it can be a mold thing, but I also know people who has a navigation sense of smell, and because the smell is also an investigator. It's like this dog who is always looking to sniff out new things. So this is why we are here.
Yeah.
Nicola is very interested in new things, so she's here sniffing out human design. And it energizes her. It's a new environment where she has things to sniff out,
Yeah.
which is beautiful. But I know people, my clients, that actually would be bored at their job and their workloads would start to suddenly smell bad. Then they would get an inspiring project and the smell would disappear. So it's a very, like a, you're trusting your senses, but it's not necessarily about the smell. It can be about not having interesting things to sniff out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. But also like the sensitivity to smell in general.
Yeah.
That I noticed that I'm very sensitive. There's some smells I don't want to smell them.
Yeah, and that
I
is
don't want to be around them.
Your sign. Yeah. Exactly. Like if we have a caves person with a feeling sense, we know that this person needs a very cozy cave, but also people who are on the same wavelength. And in your case, like if this person would have a nagging voice, it would be the same as you would walk with a bio trash under your nose.
Exactly.
So respecting these very deep things in our body is so beautiful when you can do that. And like when you think about your career or you think about your family happiness. Because inside a family we're always the same energy pool. If one person is not feeling great, we all get the energy, right?
Everyone's affected, yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah.
So we can't just fix one person, we always fix everyone to be able to thrive in life.
Yeah.
And in terms of work environment, I have this experience that so my mountains is like a double mountain because my navigation sense is inner vision, which is also a number 4. So it is kind of a double mountain. So me to be in my optimal environment, I'm high above. I'm looking from a higher perspective. That's why my company is called the Giraffe Circle. So always respecting this that we take the higher perspective. But the navigation sense, inner vision, is like an oracle sense in a way that when I feel safe to be on my mountain, inside my head, I can see. So being very sensitive to the vibe, this was actually helping me when I was doing the treatments. I was feeling the vibe on the client's body, very much sensitive to the energy field, and having my eyes closed so I could see. So in that way, it was a very mountains environment. In my previous work as a brand strategist, I was made to work in an open office, and I basically quit my job because there was no way I could concentrate in that place. I was always getting a version of me where I was pushing, I was frustrated, I was constantly interrupted, and this can really tear an inner vision person apart and just end up banging your head against the wall. And so when you have inner vision, you need to be in an undistracted place for you to see. I actually remember because you were my yoga teacher for giving birth. So also in the moment of giving birth, when you're really tuned into your body, I didn't know anything about human design, but I intuitively went to my mountain pose. As long as I was standing, I had my feet on the ground. I was given so much power from the ground, and I can see now it's a mountains thing.
Yeah.
So you can use these environments on how to give birth your way. I was on my feet. I had my eyes closed. I was doing the bee sound, being inside my head that you taught me.
Yeah.
And also the most violent thing in the birth was that I was taken out of my head. So there's this new nurse that comes in and says, "Hello, so nice to meet you. I'm this and that and blah, blah, blah."
Gosh.
And my bubble was burst, and she entered my inner bubble. And I was like, oh my God, why would I care? It was just this moment of being so radically distracted from my zone of genius that my body was so deep in there that's basically the only thing I remember being. It was like someone had taken a hit.
Wow.
And I can understand that this was a very much an inner vision thing, that I was so visualizing so inside of my power. And I was able to deliver my baby without any drugs because I was in my environment. This is very powerful stuff.
It's very much. It's funny that you talk about that because it's the birth is a very big thing.
Yeah.
It's a very big thing for people, and some prepare, some don't prepare. But when they know that, when they know where they can be, where they're most comfortable, it's so good to know. Like, for example, I ended up in water and realized I need the ground underneath me.
Yeah.
Right. So when I wanted to be in the water, but then I learned from the experience that the water wasn't good because of again this
ground,
being connected, being in the valley.
Yeah.
And you find that out in the moment.
Exactly. And for a short person, water would be ideal.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, it didn't work at all.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. So we can really apply these environments. And this is actually the first time I'm organizing a workshop, and I can't wait for people to share their experiences. It's just so fascinating to connect people who are in the same frequency, the same vibe, and how they go, like how they go on their mountain. I go to my mountain, I watch 5 minutes of ballet on YouTube, or I imagine myself in a Parisian cafe. I can go to this uplifted state. It's just these small things that you just start to nourish yourself. You start to see clearly. It's so concrete, so amazing, and such a clever way to connect with your body. Yeah.
This may be the reason why I like to walk barefoot.
Yeah,
Right? Connecting
definitely
with the valley, with the earth.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It feels great, and I always feel like that every opportunity I can be barefoot.
Exactly. And life becomes very simple because 99% of wellness tips, you can sort of think, that's not for me. That would be great for a ballet person, or that would be great for a shores person.
Yes.
But the cleverness of human design is like, that sounds great for someone else.
Yes.
And then the fifth thing that you will, or probably the fifth thing that you will learn at the workshop, is also equally fascinating. It's whether your environment is meant to activate you, or is it meant to make you laid back? And this is beautiful because we have the opposite. Actually, I'm meant to be extremely passive in my body and then my mind becomes really focused and strategic and highly active. Whereas this saying, it goes like busy hands, quiet mind. When you are doing your yoga, you get your quiet surrender mind, which is so wide, so receptive. But if you're not moving your body, your mind starts to grab things and you become restless.
Yes, that's why I also like to knit.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when I knit, I relax.
Exactly.
I love it. And because I also have something to focus on.
Yeah.
And otherwise the mind goes into too many places.
Exactly.
Like, what should I do? I constantly look for something to do.
Exactly. So when you're seemingly doing something, you get the best thing out of your mind.
Yeah, that's why it gets creative.
Exactly. And when I'm in a space where there's no distractions, I'm not moving even my fingers or anything. And and so that's why you've been wanting me to come to the yoga studio
forever.
But my environment is quite passive, so I know I should, and I would love to come to this very passive poses would do very good for me. And at the same time, our yoga practice looks very different. As a generator, of course, I get this frustration. I go to my yoga mat when I need to release my frustration. But to see clearly, to nourish myself, it's sort of this very lonely space of being so still and just tuning into the vibe of the place.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about all the other valleys, all the other mountains, you know, get to know the people who are similar and what we have in common.
Yeah.
It's super fascinating.
It is. It is so. I've myself benefited so much from this knowledge and just applying it everywhere, basically. So let's recap. If you want to join our workshop at Purna Yoga, 18th of October at 1, please sign up because places are very limited. We're hoping for around, what would you say, 20 people?
Yes,
20 people. So we form very nice groups, but you're also going to get very individual, one-on-one kind of coaching.
And then all the own environments have their own little groups.
Exactly.
Exciting.
It's so beautiful. And even when we go to the active and the passive bodies, it's so fascinating to see how the energy changes.
Yeah.
And how people seem either very laid back or a bit, how can I activate myself? So, zone of genius, your hiding zone, whether you're meant to be active or passive, to see better, to be on your genius zone, and also your navigation sense. And also the body symptoms, what to look out for if you're in the right or wrong environment. So this is mostly, it's about navigation in life. Life is in movement all the time, and how we are able to navigate, make those really smart, clever decisions. It always is about tuning into our body and hearing ourselves.
That is also why I feel this is important, even though it has nothing in general to do with yoga, but everything to do with it, because getting to know yourself is what yoga is about. And I think a little bit of guidance is quite nice, because you can be finding this all out yourself. And I realized a lot of things, I knew those things already, but then when you understand, okay, this is because you are this kind of environment, it makes a very big difference, and it's very helpful. Because you can relax within that, what you always thought, maybe I shouldn't be like that.
Exactly.
Right? So you can be.
And since you are all about empathy and being an empath, your strongest sense is feeling. It's like an empath sense, an empath environment. So I think human design is so much about empathy. Like we can see that the person has such different needs and such different design. They're meant to navigate in a very different way.
Yeah.
So I love how human design is actually increased my way of my sense of empathy, because I can see a person much more clearly.
Yeah, how helpful is that? I mean,
Yeah.
especially with the people you live, right? When you get to know them better. I mean, you think you know them, but you
Yeah.
understand them better, and I think that's very helpful.
It's-
I love
it's
to
so
hear about my
beautiful.
daughters, and I'm like, yeah, great.
Yeah,
It's
like
where they are.
how we're able to support them in a way, not in a way that we want to be supported.
Exactly as they are.
Yeah, as
Let
they
them be
are.
as they are.
Exactly. And yeah, and just
Okay.
swimming into new worlds through people's minds.
Well, I look very much forward to having you there. So again, 18th of October at Borneo, Helsinki.
I am
And,
so happy
yeah.
that Nicola has invited me, and thank you for her sense of smell. She is a curious person.
And I was laughing earlier because I was one of your soulmates who always came to your treatments for those 7 years almost.
Yeah.
And but we all move on to
Yeah.
different things, and this is very exciting. So it's nice to do
Yeah.
this together with you.
And your yoga place is the best place to have this. It's so beautiful, so cozy. So I can see all the environments loving it, especially the markets,
Right.
because there's these different color yoga blocks.
Ah, yes.
They will be choosing very carefully their taste.
Okay. Well, thank you so
Okay.
much, Tina.
Thank you, Nicola. This was very
Yes.
warm-hearted discussion, and I'm waiting for the vibe we will create.
Yes.
Lots
Come
of-
and see us there.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
share this if you felt it was inspiring to
Yes.
you.
Thank
Lots
you.
of empathy to your day.